And now may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be always acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. I think by now that most of you know that Darlene and I are cat people. We have 2 cats at home, a 10-year-old that has cost a lot of money, been through a lot of trials and tribulations, and a kitten Darlene just got for Christmas. I really think you can break the world down into 2 groups of people, cat people and dog people. I also personally think you could probably go on to say that they're ketchup people and mustard people, and Pepsi people and Coke people. And just for the record, I'm a cat, mustard, Coke person, and do not plan on getting a dog, drinking Pepsi, or using ketchup anytime in the near future. We had to take these cats with us on a trip we just took to Terre Haute just for the weekend to continue to help Darlene's mother move into assisted living. And the 10-year-old, which usually travels pretty well and likes staying at Darlene's sister's house, for some reason got really agitated. I came to get her to put her in the crate to go back home, and she didn't want to go in the crate. And she started making noises and hissing and screeching in a manner I've never seen before. I kept thinking, surely I can reason with this cat. After all, I'm the one that feeds her. This is the hand that feeds her every day. Certainly she must recognize that. So I stuck my hand under the bed, and if I hadn't pulled it back quickly enough, I'm convinced that I would have been left with a nub. The cat the next day calmed down, and we did get her home, but it just reminded me of how difficult animals can be and how stubborn they can be, and in some ways, yes, how dumb they can be. I mean, after all, I've lived with this cat 10 years. She should know by now that I'm not going to hurt her, but for whatever reason, it just didn't seem to work. Got me to thinking about the intelligence of animals. Some we tend to think of as very smart, horses and dogs. I don't know where cats fall on that ranking, but I do know, almost by unanimous consensus, what's at the bottom, at least what I've read about it, and that's sheep. Sheep are supposedly some of the dumbest animals around. They are stubborn, they are willful, they are lost, they will wander in circles. And you know, of all the animals that we could be compared to, it is not very flattering that there are so many references comparing us in the Bible to sheep. And quite frankly, spiritually speaking, that's what we are. We are sheep. We wander around, we get in trouble, we get confused, we get lost. In Isaiah 53, we're reminded that we all, like lost sheep, have wandered away from God. And that's why we need a shepherd. Sheep need a shepherd. Sheep need someone to control them, to guide them, to lead them, to point them in the right direction. Sometimes you'll see in the real fancy, ornate churches pictures of these religious leaders with a shepherd's crook in their hand. That's what that's for. We need shepherds to lead us and guide us in a spiritual sense. So my question to you this morning is, who is your shepherd? Who are you following? You have to be following someone. You're either following the false shepherd, the bad shepherd, the shepherd of the world, the flesh, and the devil, or you're following, from our readings this morning, the good shepherd, Jesus. And the choice seems pretty obvious and pretty clear, but at the same time, the false shepherd, the bad shepherd, never comes up and says, hey, guess what? Following me, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. You're going to get in a lot of trouble. You're going to go down the wrong road, and it's probably going to end up in sorrow and grief and ruination. They never say that. No, the false shepherd, the bad shepherd, always disguises himself as something pleasing, something enticing. Hey, try this out. Go down this road and see what happens. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And far too many of us end up following the false shepherd and going down the road of destruction. Not too long ago, I recently reconnected with an old friend of mine, a guy who I worked with in television from 30 years ago. And in the course of our conversation, we were discussing another coworker. Hey, what happened to so-and-so? And he said, oh, it's a terrible situation. This guy, when I worked with him, was a natural TV broadcaster. He was big, strong, good-looking. He had the talent to go be a network TV person if he wanted to. But he listened to the wrong shepherd. He listened to the world. He listened to those enticements. And he got into drugs. And he started following the drugs and lost his job in Terre Haute. Went back to North Carolina, the only place that would hire him. Kept his nose clean for a while there. Lost his job again. Arrested, busted for drugs. His career ruined, over. No one's going to hire him ever again in television because he followed the wrong shepherd. He went down the wrong road. It's a lot harder to follow the good shepherd. But Jesus plainly, clearly spells out what following him will mean. See, the bad shepherd, the false shepherd, the father of all lies, convinces us to go the wrong way. Jesus clearly points out what the good shepherd does and why we should follow. From Psalm 23, the wonderful 23rd Psalm that we know so well, that we've read so many times. Following the Good Shepherd means that we will not be in want, that he will satisfy our needs. Now that doesn't mean God's going to give us everything we want, that everything we desire is magically going to appear on our doorstep. But God will satisfy all that he knows that we need, and that we will not be in want by following him. The Good Shepherd restores our soul. When we are in sorrow, when we are in grief, when we are in turmoil, when we are at the depths, when we're at the darkest, God is there. The Good Shepherd is there to pull us up, to fill us with comfort and joy and love. The Good Shepherd also guides and leads us in this way, all through the difficult travails of life, that we may have no fear. We live in a dangerous and difficult and broken world, and bad things happen. But if we follow the Good Shepherd, God gives us that peace, his peace, which passes all understanding, that we know that no matter what is going on out there in our own lives, with our money, with our health, with our relationships, that he's in control. We have no reason to fear, because our very lives are in God's hands. He is in control. And finally, the Good Shepherd promises that we will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That as soon as our short journey here is done, and it is but a blip in the eternity of time, we will be with God in our true home forever. He can make that promise, not because of what we've done, anything we've said or done to earn it, but because of what Jesus has done for us, that we are reminded of in our New Testament reading from John. The Good Shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The bad shepherd runs away. He doesn't want anything to do with that. The Good Shepherd, Christ, lays down his life for the sheep, for you and me, and by doing so, opens the door to us for eternal life. That's how much God loves us. Not only does he lay down his life for us. But he continually seeks those who are outside the sheepfold. All those who have run away, all who have wandered off, the enemies of the cross, the mockers, the haters, the scorners, the ones who have sadly walked away from God. God is still looking for them. The Good Shepherd is still chasing after them. What comfort this gives us. The wonderful story Jesus tells in Matthew chapter 18, verse 12. The shepherd who has the 100 sheep, and one runs off. He leaves the 99 to go seek the one who is lost. That could be you. That may be someone you know. What comfort to know that the Good Shepherd is still looking for the lost sheep to bring them back into the sheepfold. It's never too late. It wasn't too late for that coworker I was telling you about. Wasn't too late for him. Lost his job, lost his career, and then on top of everything else, he got throat cancer. Can you imagine that? Of all things for a broadcaster to get, throat cancer. He was at the bottom. He was at the very bottom. But as so often happens, God has to take us low. He has to take us low, where there is nothing else but Jesus. Because even in the depths, that person heard the voice of the Good Shepherd calling, I'm still here. I haven't given up on you. Follow me. And see, he wasn't willing or able to follow while he was young and healthy and strong and had money and was chasing and following the bad shepherd. It's only when he lost everything. And sometimes that's the way God has to work in our lives. It was only when he lost everything that he was able to hear the voice of the Good Shepherd calling to him, saying, I'm still here. Follow me. Are you finally ready? And he was. Because with nowhere else to go, he turned to God and turned his life around and got saved and is now actively engaging in ministry to tell others about the love of Christ and how the Good Shepherd can save anyone, even a person like him. God can do the same thing for you. He can do the same thing for me. He can do the same thing for anyone. Don't wait until you get to the bottom of the barrel. Listen now. The Good Shepherd is still calling, and saying, follow me. I have so much to give. I have so much to offer you. Don't listen to the false shepherd and go down the wrong path. Follow me. We are sheep. We are sheep. We all need a shepherd. So I ask you again, what shepherd are you following? Amen.